Okay, so I want to take a look at how do we go about getting the image, our reference image, into our project. So I have the grid turned on. Again, I want to make sure that I have snap to grid, snap to point, that I'm showing the grid, and I also have my smart guides turned on as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come on in here and I'm going to come to File, Place. And then I will come and I will find the image that I'm going to put on. So I come on in, I hit place, and I have my image. Okay, I'm going to bring this image all on over. Again, for this one, I'm working with a statue. Now, I can change the size of my artboard. So I believe I told you to start with 8 by 10 for your artboard. But again, your image is going to be the one that's really going to tell you the size that your artboard should be. So I can edit my artboard on my tool. I can get the Edit Artboard tool, and I can make this a little bit bigger. Actually, what I want to do, I'm not worried so much about what's over on the sides, but I want to get to where this statue is sitting. Excellent. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to come to Window, and I'm going to open up my layers, and I'm going to lock this layer, and I'm going to create a new layer. Now I want to lock this layer. This bottom layer is my image layer, and I'm going to work on the image, the layer on top. Right now I'm going to focus in on this face. I'm zoomed in with my zoom tool. I can zoom it on in. Okay, and I'm going to start working. Now, as I look at this grid, I can also see that, maybe I don't want as many squares every inch. So if that was the case, I could come on into Illustrator, to Preferences, to Guides and Grid. I'm going to move this on over. And let's say that I had a grid line every inch. I could make this every 1.5 inches. And I could make the subdivisions. I'm going to put this down to 10. Okay. And you can see if I hit OK. Now I just wanted to put the grid in the back so you could get a sense. So there we have it. The grid's in the back, which, the whole image covers it. So there's no point in doing that. So what I want to make sure, just to show you here, is that my grid is in, that is not on. I'm going to hit OK. And there I can see now I have more grids per inch. I'm sorry, I have less. So the grids are actually larger. And again, finding, and you can experiment with this and see which one you like. I'm actually going to put this, I do like it better at 1 inch. So I'm going to hit OK. And there we have it. Excellent. Now I want to start working, and I can really start anywhere. But before I start working, I need to actually figure out where the center point is. So another thing that I want to do is I want to come on in. I'm going to come to View, and I'm going to show my rulers. Show rulers. Excellent. Now I'm going to actually pull out a guide. I'm going to come on in over here, and this is 8 inches. I'm going to come right to 4, and I'm going to pull out a guide. Excellent. Okay, I'm going to come in a little bit closer, and I'm going to take my image. Again, I need to unlock it for a minute here. And I want to grab my image. I'm going to put my image right in the center. Now, sometimes this is the problem. It's snapping to the grid right now, which I'm not liking. So I'm going to actually turn off Snap to Grid, turn that one off. Now you'll see as I start to move it, I can actually get it more in the center. Okay, good. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to do half of this and then flip it and create symmetry with it. Excellent. I'm going to lock this one more time. And I'm going to start to work on the top. Again, I'm going to really focus in on one half of the face. So I come on in, I grab my pen tool. Here is my pen tool. I'm going to grab it, and I'm going to come on in now. I'm going to look for these different shapes of color. Move on through, move on through, move on through. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. It ends up starting to work. Then I'm going to grab my eyedropper and sample my color and add it on in. Grab my select tool, click off, grab my pencil one more time and start to work. Now, I like to work with the keyboard shortcuts. So the keyboard shortcut for the pen is the letter P. For the selection tool is the letter V. So again, I'm going to click and I'm going to keep on moving around. This part's a little bit darker now. I can see that my fill is turned on right now, and most likely I want to turn that off. I'm going to close this shape, and I'm going to grab my eyedropper, which is the letter I, and add that on in. Again, to deselect, letter V, click, grab the letter P to work with that. I'm going to come right up in here, come on over to here, back on up. Again, turning the fill off, grabbing my eyedropper, clicking. I'm going to keep going and do some more. Now, another thing that I could do is I could come on in, double click my image layer, and turn it into a template, and then the image would be dimmed. Now, the good thing though is that even if it's dimmed, let's double check if it's not dimmed. The color should come out the same. Let's see if that's true. The color should still come out to be the same with it dimmed or not dimmed. So I'm going to turn it into a template. Again, click on to. Now, if you ever see this do not enter, that means that you have the layer selected that is locked. So I'm going to come on up into here. Again, come click, click. Come on over. Now you might actually find too that, you don't like it dimmed because you don't see everything as well. And that's what I'm starting kind of figuring as I'm working. I'm not wild about it dimmed because I want to be able to see what's happening. I'm going to click in right here. Okay, and keep working. Now again, I can turn some of these off if I feel like the color that I did was totally not quite right. Again, come on in over here, turn this on off. Eyedropper tool, click. Grabbing my pen tool. Again, turning this off. Making sure that my layers are being closed. Now, some of the common mistakes that may happen as you begin to work, I wanted to show you some of those. So again, we always know that we're starting a new path because we see the little star, the asterisk, the multiplication symbol, as we hover and begin to work. So let's say I click and, again, I can put things over top of other things as well. But let's say that I'm working on through and then, I start to do something else and I still have this here, but I come to get my pen tool and then it starts another path. Well, what you need to do is actually reactivate that path. So you come to your last anchor point and you hover, and then you'll see a / and then click onto that, and then you'll be able to close your shape as well. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off the audio and keep working on this in the next video, and you can watch that. It will be sped up a little bit.